Now, because steam humidifiers have such a robust capacity of humidity, of course, we have to be able to control them, and they could be dangerous if you let them run, wild and just produce humidity in your house. So imagine if, like, I just pumped steam into your house 24/7, you'd have issues. So when installing a steam humidifier, there are a lot of safety controls, and we as a company do a lot of them. And one of the things when you go and you ask your HVAC professional about steam humidifiers, if they have never installed one, if they're uncertain about them or haven't done many, be careful, because they could be installed wrong when they are problematic, and they will be a perfect mold growing source for you. So one of the things you have to do is, not take shortcuts with steam humidifiers. There's a couple things that we always do, and we do them because we've installed thousands of steam humidifiers in $1-million homes where the woodwork and everything else and artwork needs, not only precise control, but obviously if any accidents happen, we'd be liable for a lot of damages. So the simplest control that everybody puts in is, of course, some kind of a humidistat, whether that's on the return duct or in the space. That lets the space know whether or not, that lets the humidifier know whether or not it needs to turn on to add humidity into the space. But controls could go bad. What if just it gets stuck? And we've had that happen. What if it gets stuck and tells the humidifier to keep pumping more steam in? That could be a problem. So an airproof switch, that's one of the things you need. What does an airproof switch do? It makes sure that there's airflow in the ductwork, because if there's no airflow, we're just pumping steam into that ductwork and it's not moving anywhere. Again, perfect mold growing situation. So airproof switch will ensure that there's air movement going on before the humidifier can turn on. A duct high limit. Now, airproof switch and humidistat is what probably 99% of your average HVAC companies do. Everything I'm about to talk about now, you have to be extremely careful. A lot of companies do not do these, but they should. A duct high limit is a controller that is a little bit further back from your steam distributor. Your steam distributor is the point of injection of the steam inside your ductwork. So you're injecting steam inside your ductwork. Steam flows a certain direction with the ductwork, and a little bit further down, at least depending on the manufacturer, depending on the scenario, at least 4 feet to 10 feet down, we want to put a controller in to say, hey, what is the measurement of humidity inside the ductwork? We do want to make sure we're not saturated and not condensating in that ductwork. So we put a duct high limit that will cut off the humidifier in case the humidity gets a little bit too high in the ductwork. So that's one controller that's above and beyond what most people do. But secondly, there's also a supply temperature controller. So what is that? Well, if we have an AC system on the ductwork, which most likely you do even when you have a furnace, we have those crazy days in the wintertime when things get a little hot. You invited the family over, you got 30, 40 people, it's hot and stuffy in the house, you bumped that air conditioning system on, and now you have air conditioning. Now, air conditioning is cold air. So if you have a humidifier going and you have cold air moving through your ductwork, what's going to happen? You guessed it, it's going to condensate. You're going to get condensation all inside your ductwork, and you don't even know what's happening. So a supply air temperature will be set to operate only in a certain range of temperature. So we want to make sure that the air is never too cold where the humidity will meet its dew point and condense inside. So that is a safety mechanism that we put in that I hardly ever see any other contractor do, but we do it again because we've done thousands of these and we personally have made mistakes of not putting stuff like this in. You put all these safeties in, you figure, hey, it's going to work perfectly, and then somebody comes along and does something you didn't expect, which is put air conditioning on in the wintertime. So this prevents your humidifier from running when somebody puts in cold air into the system. So if you're going to get a steam humidifier, make sure it's done correctly. It's a big investment. I always tell my customers, whether you pay $4,000 or $7,000 for a humidifier install, you're spending a lot of money, right? Yeah, you want a nickel and dime it? Sure. Maybe you don't need a steam humidifier, don't get one. But if you're going to get something done, get it done correctly so it doesn't cause problems, it solves your issue, and it's good for a longevity of its life. It doesn't have problems. So